because in many ways, that's sort of where you cut your teeth on your principles that have sort of guided your career through some of the largest deals in real estate history. Can you recall sort of a representative deal from those days? What was your sort of overarching principle on real estate?
Well, I think that one of the most significant things that happened was that while I was in law school, I went home and I sat down with my father. And my father had been a very successful businessman and had joined other people in investing in quote unquote commercial real estate opportunities. So I came to him and I said, "Tell me about your deals." And he kind of proudly looked at me and said, "Oh, sure." And he started describing to me the deals he had invested in. And when I listened to him, I realized there was a consistent theme to what he was talking about. And basically, he was investing in deals that were in major American cities: New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, but nowhere else. And second of all, he was getting what he was very proud of was a 4% return. And I had been doing deals in Ann Arbor where I was getting 16, 20, 25%. And I just didn't understand. And then I realized, or I came to the conclusion, that what he and his buddies were doing were investing in what was already existing proven commodities, which were the major cities. And that, in effect, if I were willing to invest outside of those major cities, I was in a competitively better position. Whereas he was investing in New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, etc., I ended up investing in Ann Arbor and Madison, Wisconsin, and Tampa and Jacksonville and Orlando and Reno, Nevada, and Arlington, Texas, all of which were small cities, growth cities, and ones where there was no competition. And it dawned on me that when it was all said and done, the single most important criteria as an investor was, what was your competition? And to the extent that you were able to operate and invest in arenas where there was little or no competition, you got much better deals. And where there was more people, a lot more deals, and a lot less attractive returns as a result. And so that's when I kind of learned about, or didn't really understand what I was learning at the time. But what I really concluded was that competition was terrific, particularly for somebody else. But for me, the real goal was to find situations where I could operate in a competitive environment that gave me the edge. And that became a principle of everything that I did. And so, whereas the first major deal I did was an apartment building in Toledo, Ohio, and you got to understand that part of the time, not too different from today, Toledo wasn't a very popular place. And I was keenly aware of that. But what I realized also was that because Toledo was a car manufacturing center and because it was referred to often as the armpit of the nation and a very negative environment, that also meant that no insurance company that made all the loans for real estate was going to underwrite a deal in Toledo when the statistics, the city was shrinking, etc. But all I looked at was the fact that I was able to buy one of the few apartment buildings in town. So I didn't have any competition. So that deal was one of the most successful deals that I had ever done, simply because there was no competition. And therefore, where there's no competition, you can produce exceptional margins. And that was a great first lesson.
And how did you